Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. Today we have an updated election prediction, actually interesting, between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. So if you remember, I gave Kamala Harris the victory over Trump last time with 364 electoral votes to his 174. Donald Trump's approval rating's on the rise. I expect it to dip down again, but right now, if we're doing an election prediction as the current state of the presidency, Donald Trump would absolutely do better than I gave him credit for. At that time, he had a 34% approval rating. It's now back up to around 41%. So that's a drastic change. States that actually I almost considered flipping, states like Indiana and Missouri. Those his approval ratings are still pretty low there, but they're gaining traction. I don't expect his approval rating to get higher than 45% at all his entire administration. That's because a lot of people, number one, won't tell the pollsters that they support him and that they approve of him, and number two, that the majority of the country didn't vote for him. So we're going to start off by filling in all the safe Trump states. Again, I'm going to fill in Arizona. And my reasoning behind that is, again, Kamala Harris is not one to appeal to Latino voters. That's where the Democratic Party really needs to pick up. They need to appeal to all minorities. Right now, they're just nominating candidates for a specific base. I'm sure it will work, but if they actually want to get a referendum against the president, they want to go against the president and say, hey, we won in different parts of the country, not just using African-American voters, but we had Latino voters voting for us, Asian voters, white voters. That's something that they're really going to need to do, just as Obama did in 2008 when he won. Even states like Indiana came close to winning Missouri, came close to winning Montana, and made even John McCain's home state of Arizona somewhat close compared to other states. Made North and South Dakota toss-ups. I mean, Mississippi drastically underperformed the previous Republican candidates. But we have 175 electoral votes for Donald Trump to 179. The first state that I did call for Kamala Harris that I'm going to give to Trump, Iowa. And I thought that Kamala Harris would be able to rile out African American voters, but Trump's approval rating in Iowa has since gone up. It's nearing the 50s, and honestly, as a nationwide, if we see a nationwide trend of his approval rating upwards, he's going to win in states that he won nearing double digits in 2016, and it's going to help him out. Going down to Georgia, another state I called for Kamala Harris, I think Trump would also hold on to that state. Now, I'm not going to call the entire election for Donald Trump. I don't think he would win this election, but I also think that she wouldn't do as well as I originally gave it to her. Honestly, a lot of these predictions are going to be updated throughout the month and actually throughout probably until 2020. And we're going to see how his approval ratings change over time. And yeah, so we're going to go up to the state of Maine. I'm going to give one electoral vote to Trump rather than the whole state to Kamala Harris. I think that double-digit lead would retain in his column. But going up to New Hampshire, again, a state that I think Kamala Harris would win. Nevada, Colorado, New Mexico, I don't think that's even a contest, to be honest, coming from the West Coast. They have never actually, the argument that Democrats nominate West Coasters too often for the presidency is kind of invalid, considering they've never nominated someone from the West Coast for the presidency. But yeah, going over to... Well, yeah. Going over to the Rust Belt, Michigan, I still think that one would flip for Kamala Harris. Minnesota, I still think she would retain that. Virginia, another Democratic state, I think she would hold on to. However, I don't know how far her grasp would be. I mean, I don't think she would win North Carolina at this point. I mean, his approval rating has gone up to around 46%. North Carolina, up from 39%, so that's considerable. I think he would hold on to North Carolina, but I do think she would win Florida, ultimately making her the next president. Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, states I think that Kamala Harris would win against Trump. And then we go over to the state of Ohio. You know, this state is actually... It went for Obama by around 6% in 2008, 3% I believe 3% in 2012. If not, I can check after this video. And then it went for Trump by 9%. Honestly, this state... I mean, with extended African American turnout, that means states like North Carolina would flip. So I'm actually going to leave Ohio in his column. So this is the final electoral map: 307 electoral votes for Kamala Harris to 231. I expect her map to drastically change. I'm going to be doing more Biden, Sanders, Warren, Clinton versus Trump 2020 maps, so we can see how he progresses, how different candidates match up against him. But since I already did them once this month, I'll wait until February, and then I'm actually going to do all 5, possibly in 1 or 2 days. So, if not more candidates. So, final electoral map: 307 for Kamala Harris to 231 for President Trump. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you all tomorrow.